Fighters from the Sever battle group were reported to have eliminated more than one platoon of Ukrainian personnel in the Sumy region. In the same operation, several logistics depots were successfully destroyed. The action reportedly took place after intensive reconnaissance revealed key enemy positions. The focused strikes had a significant impact on supply capabilities and troop movement in the area. The Russian armed forces were reported to have destroyed 2 armored vehicles belonging to the Ukrainian military near the Krasno Armis area. The incident occurred as part of ongoing military operations in the region, which is known as a strategic corridor for troop movement and logistics. According to field reports, the targets were detected while moving along an open route. After identification, precision strikes were carried out until both vehicles were confirmed to be disabled. The destruction is said to have hampered mobility and combat support in that sector. The situation around Krasno Armis remains dynamic, with reconnaissance activity and follow-on operations continuing. Developments on the ground are still being monitored as the conflict in the area persists. In the Sumy region, an FPV drone destroyed a bridge in the rear of the Ukrainian armed forces. The Ukrainian military had mined the bridge in case of retreat, but in the end, they made it easier for the northern group of forces. Next, the T-72 rolled out to engage our positions and was cut short mid-move. Spotted near Nechvolodovka in the Kupyansk district, the tank was quickly tracked from the air and locked in. FPV drones closed the distance one after another, striking with precision until the hull erupted and the ammunition cooked off, ending the threat in seconds. Now, let's move to Kupyansk. Russia artillerymen destroyed the disguised points of the armed forces of Ukraine, supporting the assault units. Shooting is carried out from closed positions and direct fire for dozens of kilometers. In the Dnipropetrovsk region, a strike targeted an energy facility near a substation. According to reports, the target was critical infrastructure involved in power distribution in the area. The strike caused operational disruptions and could potentially affect electricity supply for local residents and industrial installations. Authorities continue to monitor the situation on the ground, while efforts to repair and restore the energy network are ongoing. The UAV unit moved rapidly from one cover to another, attempting to change course. However, the pursuit was halted by an FPV drone attack. Movement was detected heading toward Dnipropetrovsk. The operator flew at extremely low altitude, breaching defenses and setting the enemy bunker ablaze. Camouflage systems and electronic warfare stations failed to conceal the position. The location was exposed, and the attack followed. Precision drone strikes tore through targets in the Dobropilya area on the Pokrovsk axis, hitting with calculated force rather than chance. Strike UAVs locked onto buildings used as positions, control points, vehicles, and antenna nodes, methodically stripping the area of coordination and mobility. At night in the Kherson region, Russian forces intercepted Ukrainian UAVs, shooting them down with anti-aircraft drones and concentrated small arms fire as the dark sky lit up with tracers and falling wreckage. Exclusive footage shows Roy Svarog's drone group methodically clearing the Konstantinovka area. Precision UAV strikes dismantle enemy positions, torching temporary deployment sites and disabling equipment in rapid succession. Attempts by Ukrainian armed forces units to conceal their locations along alleyways once again failed. Camouflage offered no protection against aerial reconnaissance and strike coordination. Russian Iskander units identified a Ukrainian armored platform equipped with the Nota electronic warfare system during battlefield surveillance. Once confirmed, the target was immediately engaged using the Lance strike system, resulting in a precise hit that neutralized both the vehicle and its electronic warfare capability, removing a key disruption asset from the operational zone. Grad rockets tear through defenses. A BM-21 Grad multiple launch rocket system crew of the 35th Army Vostok Group of Forces delivered a crushing strike in the Zaporizhzhia region, obliterating a temporary deployment point and fortified defensive positions of the armed forces of Ukraine. The salvo erased enemy concentrations in seconds, leaving shattered positions and zero room for regrouping. The fighters of Svarog's swarm aren't just hunting from bunkers, they're cutting the arteries. Their drones actively intercept vehicles on the move, shattering logistics chains and disrupting unit rotations around Konstantinovka. In response, the Ukrainian armed forces stretched anti-drone nets over key roads in the city and nearby areas, hoping to blunt the threat. The result speaks for itself. The routes remain exposed, the vehicles remain vulnerable, and the countermeasures prove largely ineffective. This video captures the destruction of a Ukrainian D-20 Howitzer in the Krasnopol area of the Sumy region, as an FPV drone suddenly emerges toward the gun and detonates on impact, engulfing the position in fire and smoke. Aerial footage captures a series of devastating airstrikes on Ukrainian temporary deployment points across the theater of operations. From a drone's eye view, the PVD of the 56th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade near Malinovka is obliterated by 4 Fab 500 bombs fitted with UMPK kits. In a separate strike, 3 Fab 500 with UMPK slam into the PVD of the 152nd Brigade near Grishino, the blasts tearing through the site in rapid succession. The Russian armed forces were reported to have swiftly destroyed the firepower of the Ukrainian armed forces in the vicinity of the Kupyansk area. This information was released by the Russian Ministry of Defense. According to the report, the destroyed targets consisted of weapons and ammunition that were being stockpiled in preparation for a counteroffensive. The buildup was detected through continuous reconnaissance in the area. The strikes were intended to weaken combat potential before it could be deployed. The situation around Kupansk remains tense, with military operations ongoing and developments on the ground still under close observation. Snowy footage from Russian pilots. Ka-52M takes out Ukrainian troops and their armor. Precision strikes from aviation rockets hit scouted targets. The chopper pulled off an anti-missile maneuver, deployed flares, and returned to base. Operators from the North Group destroyed an armed force of Ukraine tank at a concealed firing position near the settlement of Deep in Sumy Oblast. In a separate strike, the Iskander-linked group hit another Ukrainian tank hidden near Glibnoe, neutralizing the vehicle before it could redeploy. That's all for today's update. Thanks for watching, and don't miss our upcoming videos.